Welcome to the future of gaming. I'm Invincible, and this is a Playable Games Weekly Update. This week, we'll hear from the Bull family about their personal story and how they got here. But first, let's go over some Playable Games news. September is gonna be huge. Mark your calendars for September 3rd, when we release Nexus to the world. To celebrate, we're hosting a launch party with cash prizes. Install Nexus for free from Epic Games and play the first week for a chance to win your share of $15,000 in prizes. We will have contests for the best game clip, the most kills, and the most wins during the first week. First place in each contest will be awarded $2,500. Prizes for second place will be $1,000, third, fourth, and fifth will earn $500 each. Whether the style of the player you are is a killer or a support player, there's a contest for you. Get ready to play Nexus and win. Coin Wars is coming to Nexus, and you can play using Pepe, Ape, Shiba Inu, and Doge skins with the coins in your wallet. We've added 4 very special community skins to Nexus. When you log into Nexus, you'll have access to this Pepe frog skin if you have 100 million Pepe coins in your wallet. You get to keep the coins. This function just allows you to use the skin in-game. There's also a community Coin Wars skin for the Ape coin, Dogecoin, and for Shiba Inu too. We've heard the community loud and clear and adjusted our upcoming node sale. This is a one-time opportunity to celebrate the release of our flagship game Nexus. 900 master nodes are up for grabs this September at half price. We'll also give away 100 nodes randomly to all of those who purchase from the 900. To support our existing node holders, we have put together a package to increase rewards and benefits to all of the existing pre-sale node holders. We will calculate the change in rewarded coins that this node sale event would produce and compensate all existing node holders with a staggered airdrop from the company treasury to make up for this changed amount over the next 3 months. We will extend the offer of $2,200 nodes to all existing node holders, an allocation of 1 node for each node you currently own, for the next 3 months. We recognize that not everyone has the $2,200 available right now, and want to ensure everyone who is interested can benefit from the sale. Taking on board some of Old Man Smithers' ideas, we will introduce a new weekly lottery for node holders only, whereby we have 1 million weekly full prize pool where you are automatically entered with 1 ticket for every node that you own. Remember, we reserve the right to adjust this weekly amount as the value of Bull increases. Now, let's hear directly from the Bull family about their story and how they got here.
Today is a general chat. We just kind of a chat between ourselves, and people have asked us to talk about how we got to where we got to.
That's a good question and a long answer. We're both entrepreneurs and we're different entrepreneurs. So you were more, your expertise was in the intangible stuff and my expertise was in tangible stuff. You were in your 30s, I was in my late 20s. So
you were 27.
Yeah, we were both doing our own thing, and neither of us really worked much for other people. We did it, kind of didn't work out that well. To
toe the line that, I suppose, to build someone else's dream is really hard when you've got a bunch of your own. Other people don't necessarily want you to be successful. They want you to make them successful. You started out in design. You won a whole bunch of competitions in your teenage years.
Yes.
You won this Cafe Break Award in Australia, which is a big design comp.
I was. I don't like to use this word lightly, but I realise it is true. My auntie just died and she's responsible for it, but I was a child prodigy. I did do things as a child that most adults couldn't do.
And so you went from that to your own shop?
Yes. Well, I got a job, see. Someone wanted to snap me up because I was so talented, got a job, which required me to move to a very small tropical Queensland surfing town and be a designer in their surfwear factory. And, yeah, they just wanted to surf and they wanted me to run the business.
And design
And I
everything
was
for them.
19. So I said to them in my interview, I don't want to be responsible. I am talented. Yes, I understand that. But I'm also young and I don't want to be responsible for running someone's business. So if you're in financial trouble, tell me now because I'm not the right person for you. And they said, no, we're all good. We're this, we're that. So I got there and within days I realised they were in financial trouble.
So you did all that. And then how'd you get to Hastings Street?
Saw a cartoon in the paper. There was a movie called Strictly Ballroom. And there was a cartoon in the paper of two politicians, one in a pair of boxer shorts, and it said something to do with Strictly Ballroom, and I just went, what a great name for a boxer short shop. And anyway, that was it. I couldn't get it out of my mind. And then I found a shop.
Ballroom being a play on room for your balls.
Yes.
In boxer shorts. Yeah.
Yes. So I opened Strictly Ballroom in Hastings Street, got in the paper I just found the name of a cool shop, got in the paper, and then that started that. And then I had a letter from the movie to say you can't use the name, cease and desist, basically. And I went, oh, really? That's a bummer. So I changed it to Simply Ballroom, and yeah.
The rest is history.
I was there for 4 years and then I moved to Melbourne.
All right. So my brief background came up through sales and ended up running sales teams, like proper door-to-door sales teams. And then ended up
the grind, Jono. The grind sales teams.
Yeah.
It hurts just thinking about it.
It does when you look back on it, just how much time and effort that took. But yeah, it was like you talk about hard work. That was hard work, and it was hard emotionally. And you were broke all the time. You made lots of money, but the money came in spits and spats, and there was long times in between. And by the time you paid your bills, you were often broke and had to go back to work again next week broke. So I got better and got up to where I ran teams and had my own companies, and then ran other people's teams, and then sort of went into my own business where I met Mickey and with stuff we did in Perth. But I suppose we should jump to where I met you. I suppose that's a good thing. I was running a sales team for a multimillionaire guy in Melbourne.
Yep.
And
I was at the end of my 4 years, nearly
lease in
5
Melbourne.
years in lease in Melbourne.
Yep. And I said to a very good friend of mine at the time, I need a very beautiful woman to date and this weekend. And he flicked across he literally just like shuriken through the business card across the table, and it spun through the air, landed on the table, and then spun until it stopped in front of me. I've actually got that card right here.
Oh, my God.
This is the card.
The story of the card.
This is Amanda Jane when she was 27 years old or thereabouts.
And a friend of mine who was a portrait photographer took the photos of the stuff that I used to make and said, you should wear it. And I'm like, oh, really? And she finally convinced me to do that. And then, that was at the end of a very long day of taking photos, and I was so over her and over all of it. I was just sitting on the step. She took my photo and then she said, you have to use that on all your stuff for your shop. And I'm like, no, that won't be happening. And she goes, no, I'm telling you, you have to. So I thought she was at me because I used to live in the apartment next to her, and she was at me for day after day after day. You got to use that photo. You got to use that photo. And finally, I went, oh, all right. And that's how it came to be on the card.
So Mark flicked that across, and so being a salesperson and having quite a bit of experience with young women at that stage in my life, I knew that if I rung you up and told you what I thought, which was, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, we need to go out for lunch, you would run a million miles.
Okay, blah, whatever.
Yeah. So instead I rang my good friend Michael, our CEO in Perth, And I said, Michael, can I have the centre spread of your magazine that you publish? And he had a wedding magazine that he published. And he says, what for? I said, there's this girl in Melbourne I want to ask out, and she's got a pyjama shop. She makes these really high-quality fashion pyjamas, and I want to do a centre spread on her, but I want to use it as a way to meet her. And Mickey, being Mickey, said, okay, the centre spread's yours. And so
as long as it doesn't cost me anything.
As long as it doesn't cost anything. So, yeah.
You can do it.
So I rang Amanda, and I left a message on a voice machine. And I was what you would call a C-grade celebrity at the time, because I was doing a lot of on radio advertising at the time, and people knew my voice. So I said something along the lines of, I don't know if you know me, my name's Jonathan Bosanquet, and don't know if you've heard of me or know me or whatever, but I've just got your card here in front of me, and a friend of mine has asked, could I come out and have a look at your shop? And he hasn't been. And Mickey had just been in Melbourne, but he had to go back to Perth for business. And so I sort of framed this a little bit that Mickey wasn't able to catch up with you, so he's asked me, could I do it? And so I'd like to take you out for lunch, have a talk about your business. I want to have a look at the shop, and if we think it's appropriate, we've got a centre spread in whatever magazine it was. At the end of lunch, what happened? Can you remember?
You asked me out the next night, and I said I was free. And then I went, shit. And you went, what? And I said, my girlfriend told me that if someone asks you out, you always have to check because you're busy and booked. And so I broke the rules. The second I had the opportunity to break a rule, I broke the rule, and that was it, really. So
that was it. It was all over Red Rover. So, yeah. So she's put up with me all this time, 22 years.
Well, apart from all that shenanigans, we did it off straight away. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All right. So let's skip forward. We did a whole bunch of shit between then and now. So I was a millionaire when I was younger for a brief couple of seconds. I ended up running a very big sales team, 16-person, direct sales still, but much more corporate, and we had very big advertising budgets, and we sold $12,000 product, and I was very good at it, and I ran the team and trained the team, and I made a lot of money. And
you were not only a good salesperson, you were a great leader, and all the guys that worked for you loved working for you. All showed you never had a problem with people being half-assed about a really difficult job. So, I mean, yes, you had guys come and go, but you also had a large group of guys that just stuck with you to the point where when it went pear-shaped, they all came round to our house and said, we'll follow you. We'll leave this guy.
Well, hang on. We should say when it went pear-shaped. Oh. I had contracts. So the contract was I had to build the business to this size, and if I did, all my money would come through. And so I built the business to that size. So I did all the hard work of building it all up over 4 months. I think it was 4 months. And we got to that size. We just hit our first major target, which means my money would unlock and I'd make millions. And I had share options in that company. It was a publicly traded company. And they sacked me. Instead of paying me out what they owed me, they sacked me. And so I had a lot of money. So I said to Amanda, let's go to Tasmania, which is an island at the bottom of Australia. It's part of Australia, but it's one of the islands. And let's go to Tasmania for a week, and we'll just decompress and work out about what we're going to do. And when we got back from Tasmania, my PA and the whole team had come around to our house and basically said, if you want to start your own version of this, we'll back you. We'll come with you, which was a really big thing because these sort of businesses, there's as we worked out, there's a 4-month incubation period where it doesn't make much money, and it's a big boys game. It was $500,000 to start, and that was 20 years ago. So it was $500,000 to start. So yeah, it was a big thing for them to say that, and so they were all going to leave him and come and work for me if I wanted to do it. And so I turned to Amanda. We were well off. And I turned to Amanda and said, well, what do you think? And your answer was, what's the worst that can happen? And
famous last words.
well, that. I think we've both lived our life by that, haven't we? It's like,
Yes.
if you look at what's the worst that can happen and you can live with that, and the worst that could happen was we go broke, and we've been broke. And so we took it and we did it, and we started Mint, which was our company, and it was this similar product. It was a share trading type system. I had good money. We had started having kids, and that sort of led into the next very long period of time where you're raising
I
kids.
kept my business going after two of them. Had the first two, and then the third time I said to Jono, I'm out. I gotta stay home for a few years.
Yeah.
If 3 kids in 3 years doesn't tell me that I've got to stay home, then I don't know what will. I need to say this part is when they stole my stuff, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
I was actually heartbroken. I was a producer and a creator, and they took the thing from me that I thought you couldn't take from someone. And I was heartbroken. And I said, that's it. I'm not sewing anymore, not in the garage anymore. And I said, what can I do? Like, what can I do? This is all I've ever done. And I think I was turning 40, wasn't I? And I said to you, I need to do something else. So you said, well, my skills, I could do real estate. And I said, oh, maybe I could do that too. And so I did the get your license course, out of the cereal box 3-day course or whatever it was. And all of a sudden I'm a real estate agent.
Qualified to sell real estate, yep.
I was like, is that it? Is that all I had to do? So that started us on a course for real estate, which interestingly has come up a bit lately because it's very similar to what we're doing now, because we decided that real estate, doing it the way everyone else was doing it, wasn't good for people.
Well, I think we should take a step back from there, because when we started, we just said, you know what, we'll be ethical real estate people. So we started a real estate company and we called it Love, L-O-V-E, Love Real Estate. And Amanda designed a very Melbourne, we got told by a design expert logo guy at one stage.
It was too classy.
It was too classy for Queensland. They're much more down to earth people, so we changed it. But Love worked really well, and the marketing strategy we used in that was really good. We took like parables and homilies and home truths and stuff, and we wove them into stories, and we bought the back page of the Yamundi magazine every week, and we put that story on the back.
Yeah, and we had people actually stop into our office, and tell us how much they loved our back page.
Yeah, so our back page
had nothing to do with real estate.
Yeah, we used a marketing strategy where you don't talk about what you sell and what you do. You talk about what the people you want to talk to are interested in. And that led us – we did well with Love. Love was a good brand, and we got past the part where you don't make any money, and we got to the part where we made money. And we had
and we also got royally FUCK'd multiple times to the point where we lost more commission in the first year of being real estate agents than we earned, because
lost is the wrong word. We had stolen from us.
Stolen from us,
more commission. But we won't go into all that. That's just real estate. We ended up in this really weird situation where we had just enough sales each month to pay all the bills, and Jet was doing full-time tennis, and Sam was doing, a lot of dancing, and Beth was doing whatever she wanted to do. So we were spending close to probably $1,000 a week running the kids in their activities. But after that, we didn't have much money left over. We were always one sale short of really getting ahead.
The better we did at it, the more angry everyone else got.
Yeah.
And
people started spreading rumours about us around town, and because it's only a small country town. And when I say small country town, it's a big country town. But
and we were challenging the status quo. We were repositioning real estate in a lot of people's minds. and they hated it to the point where the local newspaper, we wanted to advertise in the paper because everyone in real estate advertised in the paper, and the paper contacted us and said, we will not take your money to advertise. And we just went, what? Like, what do you mean?
And the girl actually told us that they had been threatened by bigger agencies that if they kept taking our money, the other agencies would stop. So,
So it was a confirmation that what we were doing was working, and it was also the beginning of the end because we just thought we just can't fight this anymore. For 5 years we've been doing it, and we just went, you know what, when's enough's enough? Maybe we've had enough. We've had enough of the country. Maybe we need to go back to the city.
Maybe we better go and get a degree in marketing and just get a real job. I think that's I was, 50? Was I just somewhere around there?
2015, yeah.
So around 50. And so basically we moved back to Melbourne and started doing study. So I've done a lot of marketing in my life, but not formally. So I've always been interested in PR and how marketing works, and I'd studied it informally but not formally. So I went back to university, went back to Griffith University, and which is actually in Queensland, but I did it online. They had a beautiful online course. And I did my degree, and then I did my master's, and Amanda decided since I was going to do that, she'd do it as well. So we did it sort of together, which was hard because we had to keep doing two.
I found it.
You found that
you
course.
Did it with me.
Yeah, that's true. So I was going to do a master's in marketing, and Amanda found a better course than what I had. The Griffith course was much better. So we went and did that one. But it was really hard because since we were doing it together, we couldn't do the same subject. So I had to do, if there was 3 subjects to choose from, I'd do Virgin Airlines and Amanda would do, Coles supermarkets or something. So we couldn't copy each other's work, which was really annoying. But it worked out okay. And she got better scores than me, slightly.
Of course I did. During this time, we had kids at high school. Then we had our youngest leave high school. Then we had Jet, young bull, go, I'm going to leave school too. Well, you can't leave school unless you're earning money, yada, yada. And so he figured out a way to play games for almost a full-time salary, which we're just like, that's really annoying.
We should probably frame that how it actually was. So his sister, Beth, came in one day at 14 years. Was she 14? 15.
No, 15.
She was 15, and she came in and she said, I want to quit school. I hate school. It's not for me. The boys are much smarter than me. I'm not very smart. And we said, that's just a lie. You all got A's all through school. You're all smart. She goes, no, I hate school. It's not for me. I can't do it. And so me being the genius I am said, I'll tell you what, Beth, if there's 2 weeks school holidays coming up, stay at school until the 2 weeks school holidays. And then in that 2 weeks, totally impossible to do this, but in that 2 weeks, if you can get an apprenticeship, then you can leave school. But you can't leave school without an apprenticeship.
Yeah, we just said,
and Amanda and I were high-fiving ourselves behind when she left the room. We were like, woo!
I know, how
she's
clever
going back to school. She's going back to school. And about a week later, she had 2 apprenticeships offers and a third
and a possible third.
And a third one begging her for a second interview. And we were just flabbergasted. So she left school at 15, just walked out, and she's just completed her hairdressing apprenticeship now this last couple of months. She's a fully qualified hairdresser and doing very well in a high-quality studio. But then that wrecked Young Bull. So Jet just totally lost it. Him being at school when Beth wasn't, his brain just couldn't handle it. And then he came in one day and said, I'm just going to do some wow stuff while I'm looking for an apprenticeship. And we said, what do you mean do some wow stuff? And he goes, I can sell some runs where I take people through and help them get good gear. Well, he earned $50,000 doing that. And that we said, well, you know what? If you can make money out of gaming, you can leave school and so he did.
And then you found the gala note
Yep.
And then Jet gets in the van. Jet helps me one day and says, "Who else spent $1,500 on a JPEG?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And he started telling me, and I'm just like, "I don't understand what you're talking about, but it sounds insane. I'll just keep doing my thing. Thanks."
Yeah.
So it kind of went, while we were studying, we kind of went in two different directions. I stayed doing the job, keeping all the bills paid and everything. And then you guys...
Through the study, you actually did a marketing plan for one of your friends' businesses, and then they hired you full-time to actually run their marketing for them while you were still studying.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a master's degree in marketing and running a full-time orange juice company's marketing. So you were bringing home the bacon.
So I was, and
Jet and I were fucking living, and we were living the dream. We were gaming every day and trading NFTs. Jet and I would do about 2 or 3 hours a day research.
Yeah, trading.
Then we'd go and spend 20 or 30 grand buying NFTs.
Yeah.
In like half an hour. And then we'd flip them. We'd flip them 2 or 3 hours later or 5 hours later or the next day and make 20 or 30 grand, 1,000 profit.
I know. It was so insane. I was just like, it must be all made up. I just totally switched off to it all because I didn't want to know. I just thought I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and we won't get, all the bills will be paid. We won't get evicted. I don't know what the boys are fucking doing, but I'll just, they whatever there is they're making, they can just keep doing that. And let's just see what happens.
The analogy ended up being that selling drugs couldn't be this easy. It was so stupid. The money was so stupid. It was insane. And Jet had a real knack for understanding what was good and what wasn't. And then I had the knowledge because I'd studied not NFTs, but I studied crypto in 2017's bull run, and then started writing a book on Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're always interested in it.
Yeah, well, from 2017, not early enough, unfortunately. I wish I'd got into the cycle before, but anyway.
And we finished our degree at the end of that same year, 21.
Yep.
And then the
master's degree,
the master's degree. And then over the Christmas and stuff was all about how do we do this? So
how do we make a gaming company? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was all out of the gala thing because while Amanda had been doing an orange juice company, I'd been working with a gaming company in Melbourne doing marketing for them. So, and I'd raised them $1 million from gala.
And raising money, yep.
So, and so that's how we found out about the gala node and all that sort of stuff.
So that's how we got from there to here.
From there to here. When I look back on it, it's a crazy journey.
We hope you enjoyed that segment from the Foundable family. Please leave your questions in the chat below. Remember to represent your favorite gaming studio by acquiring merch at playablegames.store. Don't forget to check out our new Nexus related gear. You can trade Bullcoin on Trader Joe, LBank, Mexi, and Bitcoin. CoinMarketCap currently shows the price at 0.0007 or 7/100 of a penny. The market cap is currently $3 million. There are currently 4,388 nodes sold, producing 1,560 Bullcoin per node per day. 45,612 nodes remain, and the current price is $4,400 per node. I hope you all learned something this week during our recap, and if you did, please like the video to tell YouTube to share it with other likely viewers. Subscribe for more Playable Games content and hit that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. I'm Bruno, aka Invincible, and I'll see you all again next week.
People should understand that our everything is in this. We don't even own a house.
Yes.
We've put every cent we have into this.
We left our whole life.
We left our home. Yeah, we left our
family,
country.
Everything in Australia to pursue this project in the best way that we could.
Yeah. And we've brought to this project everything that we are. So we've got everything that we have, we've put into it, and we've brought all of our experience from our life to it.